We're live.
Are we live?
We are live.
Hello!
Yeah.
We're just looking for a mouse. And the pussycat chased us away.
Give us the keyboard.
There's his keyboard. Right.
Hold the keyboard again.
Hold the keyboard.
Nobody watching yet, so we've actually now on YouTube got a new editor, so I can actually edit videos.
All
I like the last live stream when we had to edit it because you basically gave away where I live. We can now edit that. Because you basically gave away where I live. We can now edit that in the actual.
I suppose people are either having the Sunday dinner or
Well, it could be
at the club.
Well, it depends where you are in the world.
America's 6 hours behind us.
Yeah, well, it's between 5 hours and 8 hours, depending if you're on the east or west coast.
Right.
Let's just try to zoom in a little bit more for the folk. There we go. So today, hello and welcome to the channel, Northworthy. Northworthy Sagas and Stories. I am your host for today, Bragi.
And I'm Egil Thorsson. Hi.
Hello, and today we're going to be doing a live stream talking about the Anglo Saxons. And if you have any questions for us, please leave it in a comment. We're always happy to answer your comments. Just got to wait for some people to turn up. So what are your thoughts on the Anglo Saxons? Give us a keyboard now.
All right. Anglo Saxons. Well, people tend to overlook it because it becomes between the Romans and the Viking period. And in actual fact, it was a very prosperous place, Anglo-Saxon England, especially. Hence the Vikings came and attacked it because it's no good attacking somewhere there's no profits. It gave us kingdoms, and of course my favourite, Queen Athelflaed.
Oh yes.
For those of you who don't know, she was King Alfred's daughter, a chip off the old block, and we're here in Derby, and it was one of the 5 boroughs, and it was Queen Athelflaed who booted the Vikings out of Derby. Doesn't seem a big thing, but at the time it certainly was. But I'm anxious that she gets the respect and acknowledgement that her dad did and her nephew. And this is one of the things, women don't seem to get the publicity that they should. And without women we'd be very in a great thing. The Warrior Queen, there she is. There's a book here. Her statue is on the Guildhall in Leicester. This is a book I actually don't know.
No, it's a relatively new book.
Yeah.
Bought a couple of weeks ago, so not started reading it yet.
She's an amazing character. She was about 44 in 917. Unfortunately, she died in 918. What she died of, I have no idea. I suspect that she was poisoned, but that's just the suspicious in me. I'm just going to put this down on the floor. But the Saxons themselves, well, you've all seen these. This is called a sax.
Scram sax.
A scrammer sax.
Short knife.
And the Anglo-Saxons, translated, means the knife people. And that's where we get it from, the Anglo-Saxons. Because people think the Saxons were just there till the Vikings came and that was it. Well, no. After 954, England was virtually ruled by the Saxons. Hello.
Just ignore that. Just watch the.
Okay. I'm told to ignore this. There's all kinds of weirdness going on.
I'm just trying to get the live stream on the screen.
But so I say, if you've got any questions, we'll try and answer them.
There's nobody watching yet, so it's early days.
We're not the fount of all knowledge, but we are willing to have a look and find out.
Oh yes.
But, so as I say,
we've got lots of content planned on this Anglo-Saxons.
Yeah.
As I recently been taking a lot of keyword phrases revolving around Anglo-Saxons, and we are going to make lots of videos on that. So
I was very lucky that when I studied archaeology and history at York, that we did a lot on Anglo-Saxons, early Anglo-Saxons especially. I did a course on bead, Sutton Hoo, one of the foremost experts on Anglo-Saxon brooches, Tanya Dickinson. She spent her life looking at brooches and categorising them.
That's a very interesting job because, you know, some of the brooches are just fantastically made, and
Yeah.
the designs. I mean, how they managed to come up with some of these designs,
Well, this is it. I mean,
quite amazing.
yeah, I was very lucky as well to go to the British Museum and look behind the scenes. And of course, one of the experts at the British Museum, you know him as well, Gareth Williams.
Oh, yes, yes,
He's at Tutbury Castle,
yes.
and he works at the British Museum.
Yes,
Viking
we'll have to go there soon.
section. Yeah.
Film.
It's also a nice place to visit. They are, Leslie, I've given your place a plug.
I've got 2 people watching now, so hello,
All right.
thank you for watching.
Hi everybody. So if you've got a question, please let us know and we'll see what we can do. Hello.
Yeah, just ignore the screen.
Things keep flashing and spinning.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the live stream up on the channel so I can answer questions, so...
Who's that handsome man with a big moustache? Oh, it's me.
Well, it's you, that is. I don't have a moustache. Perhaps I should grow a beard, I don't know. I've always felt not old enough yet to have a beard.
No, well, I'll be honest. I originally grew it because my philtrum is rather prominent
Well, fair enough.
and being vain. And also my dad had a moustache and I wanted a bigger one than him.
Well, yes, that's a good moustache,
Yeah.
that.
Yes, it certainly gets... When you're walking around normally in Derby, you get comments, but it comes together with the long hair and the Viking kit.
I always like it when I see a man with a good beard. And if I got time, I go up to him and say, "That's a good beard there, you should be a Viking."
Well, I actually had an old bloke come and asked how you grew it. I says, well, it does it itself, just don't trim it.
Yeah, I'm not old enough for a beard, it'll make me look old.
Some people grow a lot of hair, some don't. And
I'm
I'm a
getting
hairy
warm.
kind of chap, and it's just the way of it. But, yeah, so
So where did the Saxons come from then?
it's a generic term for Germanic tribes. I mean,
Yeah,
we get them from obviously Saxony, Jutland. They came from Norway, Denmark, and Sweden, and all around there. A lot of Saxons actually came over in the Roman army. We know, say you volunteered for the Roman army, which a lot of them did. You didn't fight in Germany, you fought in Scotland. Say you're an Englishman and you volunteered to join the army, you went on the Rhineland. We know the Saxons were there, and there was a salutation to the god Saxnot. Who Saxnot is, we're not absolutely certain.
yes.
We know it's generically Germanic god, possibly Thor or Woden or Odin. But there was quite a number of Saxons here already before the Romans departed. They had trouble with Saxon pirates. They built forts on the east coast, Kent and around there. When the Romans left, the Saxons came over. There is the legend of Hengist and Horsa.
Oh yes, of course Horsa died.
Yeah, and Hengist did what was asked of him, but the king reneged on it, so he thought, right, I'm having this.
Oh yeah, and then he took over the kingdom with his son. Yes.
Yeah.
We'll make a video on him one day, on Angus and the Horsa.
But having said that, moving on, the Saxon church was well established, the Christian church, and there are some amazing treasures.
And was it established at the time in Saxony, the church?
I don't know whether it was in Saxony or not, but in this country, because if you imagine, Romans made Christianity the state religion, Romans left, and it basically was held in trust with the Irish.
Yes.
Then after the Saxons had landed, then the saints came over and people converted eventually.
Yes.
The last place to be converted actually was the Isle of Wight.
Yes, I've heard that. But it must have been very daunting and very brave of all these priests to go to these new lands were full of pagans and heathens to convert them. You know, there must have been, you know, at the same time of being kind of feeling like they're doing God's work, so they would have had this whole overwhelming power of doing right, but they must have still been very frightened.
Well,
I would have been.
the mindset was that as a Christian, you're looking for martyrdom.
Yes.
That's the highest rank you can get. However, that doesn't stop you being scared,
No.
especially as you know that there are people who would quite happily sacrifice you or torture you or just kill you. And so you've got to be pretty brave to do it. I mean, hats off to them. But then again, they turned it, and later on, it wasn't safe to be a pagan.
No.
But having said that, the beautiful manuscripts that are there, the jewels and the monasteries were fabulously wealthy. But really, they were causing troubles for themselves because, you imagine, they're isolated, they've got lots of money, they've got people who are used to obeying them. To a Viking, it's like a free day at the supermarket. You've got slaves, you've got wealth, and you run out, do a circuit, by which time when they've recovered, up you pop again. It just struck me as odd that they would leave churches so undefended. But, you know, Vikings had different viewpoints. But the thing is, we mustn't confuse, I mean, Saxons, they had their own culture, their own civilizations, their own laws. King Alfred instituted...
Their own language.
Oh, absolutely. Alfred instituted various laws. He wasn't called the Great for nothing. There were laws of all kinds, which would be a video in itself.
Oh yes, well we'll talk about that in the future.
But without people like Alfred and Queen Athelflaed, you wouldn't have England, Angleland, as it is today, or a language.
Definitely not, no. Makes you think.
Yeah. Well, when you think that the only viable Saxon state was Wessex, and that was in the marshes of Athelney,
Yes.
to come back, that his grandson...
Well, it was a great achievement by Alfred.
Oh, yeah.
And would that happen without Alfred? I don't think it would have happened.
No, because he must have been quite an inspirational character. His daughter
Yes.
should have been Queen of the Mercians, but she said, no, I'm Lady of the Mercians, my father is king. That must have, I mean, you imagine, if you could be a king or a lord, what would you be?
Oh, king,
Exactly,
probably.
Exactly.
I think we'd all want to be king to a degree.
And I mean,
it's a generic,
yeah,
you know.
and traditionally, kings were rulers of smaller spaces than they are today.
So
Very
we
far
often,
thinking.
we often talk about, you know, the life of the Anglo-Saxon warrior, and we probably mentioned before the life of the Anglo-Saxon woman, ladies. Yeah. But what about Anglo-Saxon children? What kind of life they would have had?
Again, it would be a pretty hard life, really. From the age, you see, everybody has to contribute.
Yes.
And that, excuse me, as soon as you can walk, even if you're going like that, spreading corn, you're doing a job.
Well, I don't have corn, but spreading,
well, you know what I mean, spreading
yeah.
seeds for the chickens or...
Well, somebody had to
livestock.
sow the land and sow the seed. And
then say, maybe your mother would teach you how to milk cattle.
Yes.
And then you'd look after the sheep when you got a bit older and you had a stick. Oh, maybe your dad was a carpenter. He would teach you how to use the tools.
So it would have been very important to pass down these skills.
Oh yeah, I mean, bear in mind you've got no old age pension.
Or crafts.
Yeah. So imagine you're my age, I'm 63, soon to be 64.
I know a song about that.
But the point is, at my age, in the Saxon times, I would be very, very old.
Yeah, you would be, yes.
Yeah. And also, my body weight would be, I know, I'd be considered a very fat bloke, because people's diet and parasites made you thin, and you were working a lot more.
I mean, would you had enough calories in the day to sustain the work? I don't think you would have done.
It depends. We know from excavations in York, with, shall we say, certain bodily matter, that tapeworms were prevalent. Everybody had them. That also there was a worm called a curus.
Yes. Not nice.
Not nice at all. That was quite prevalent as well. Your diet. Well, the average Saxon in the street, so to speak, didn't have... Meat was an occasion.
Yes.
I would say they didn't have it. It was just not as readily available as it is today. So you eat a lot of vegetables. Drink. You couldn't drink the water really safely because
Not unless you had like a pure spring and you know it was clean.
and even then the sheep would urinate in that, and that gives you the worm that they were carrying. So beer, ale, cider, and perry, of course.
And yeah, I mean, your favourite wine.
Yeah,
From
oh, well.
Frankia.
But I mean, apples, this time of year, they're growing, you crush them up, put a bit of water in, I suppose, leave it to ferment, month or so's time, you've got cider. And the alcohol kills the germs off. You also forget about things like that.
Well, the thing we take for granted in today's modern world is sugar.
Yeah. Well,
Did it have sugar in those days?
no,
Honey.
They had honey, and mead was very special occasions for average. When you got married, you gave your wife for a month mead.
Honeymoon.
Exactly, because it's said to make her fertile. Well, it probably soup up the body a bit more because of the sugar.
I mean, I think that comes from a much later era,
Yeah.
term, 14th, 15th century. I
Yeah,
think.
but I think the honey would
Yeah.
actually give your body a bit more of a boost. And let's face it, they needed it.
Well, it's amazing, you know. You have a spoon of honey in your tea or coffee, and it does give you an energy boost.
Well, you just go down to the supermarket, it's there, was it? Quid a jar.
Yes.
They forget that, you know, you'd have to find the bees. Once you get there, you've got to tempt those bees out without getting stung. Get the honey and
Of course, so yes. And how would they know about bees? You know, it's all got to be passed down. You know.
No, it's passed down. But I know that in Ireland, say you sold me some land which had got a hive on it, for 10 years you'd get a third, the king would get a third,
Really?
and I would get a third, because it's that valuable. It's also, you use honey on cuts,
Yes.
but for the average Saxon in the hovel, no.
No.
You put a spider's web on it, and there's mushrooms. If you slice a mushroom, it acts like a plaster.
Yeah, you can see that. And then there's some of the natural mosses are very good
Yeah.
for healing as well.
But these are what the housewives would learn and teach their children.
Yeah, but this would have been passed down knowledge,
yeah, it's
and we lost a lot of that knowledge.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. I mean, we watch the television series with these survivalists and go, wow, there's nothing to what
Oh
we
yeah,
have
Bear
people."
Grylls.
Yeah. But, you know, it's knowing your locality and who could tell you, your granny or your granddad.
Yes, indeed.
So, yeah. And what else? Have you got anybody who asking any questions?
No, I've only got one person watching so far,
All right.
so it's been very quiet.
Oh, it's sunny.
Because we didn't advertise it in advance.
Yeah.
This is just
Oh,
a last minute. My TV's going to be turned off in 5 minutes. I'll just sort that. So,
Yeah, well, as I say, perhaps next time we can advertise it, say a day or so
yeah, well, if
before.
we can get in the habit of having a live stream every week, perhaps on a separate day when we film,
Yeah,
meet up twice or something, we can try to do that. Because I do like the live streaming way of making content, because it puts you in touch with your audience and it lets them hang out with you. It's,
gets the old
you know,
grey
the old
letter.
hangout thing.
Yeah.
It does.
Well, as I say, we'll give it some more time and see if anybody's
Well, we'll
interested.
just keep talking. I'm
We
sure
can
we'll be
always
good to-
recap at another
Yes.
live stream where people have questions. But I mean, I was lucky enough as a student to go to Sutton Hoo. I did resistivity surveys there. It was 1989. My supervisor, Dr. Martin Carver, he was in charge of a dig there, and we found some. The amazing thing was the graves. Now, they were in various shapes. What I didn't say at the time to him, because he would have ignored me, was their runes. There's one they called the V-bomb, and he was buried like a V-shaped. There were two people buried like that. One was like that, and the other had his legs on his shoulders.
Oh,
There-
that's most strange.
Yeah, and the pits were cut for them. There was another guy who was buried like that, with the top of his head sliced off. There was a hanged man, you could see his neck was broken. Another guy was tied up face down.
So quite brutal killings then.
These were more than just burials.
Would there be sacrifice? I mean, makes you think about that.
Well, that's my view.
Not something that they practice, and because that's speculation.
This would be around the time of King Redwald.
Yes.
Who was still, he had an altar to Thor, though his wife was Christian. But the interesting thing is the soil itself is highly acidic. in the 70s there was they put a wooden crate over this grave. When he came back, Martin Carver described it as the consistency of cheese. You could actually put your finger through it.
Sure.
And that was about, I think, 17 years or so. And all that we found left of the bodies were a little bit of tooth enamel. But if you can imagine a dark brown man in a tan pool of water, and the things, when you look closely, you could see they had hair down to the waist.
So quite long hair then.
Very long hair, and you look closely, you can pick out the details. My own theory is that these were the first stages of a fossil. Most interesting one, we have the Leaping Man, which is like that, and what it was, the Saxons would take over Neolithic sites.
Yes.
And then it would be ploughed ritually. This is pre-Christian, and it's to sort of purify the land. The plough was broken up and the man was killed and the two were buried together. Hence we have that. But as I say, underneath the mounds and Saxon levels, we had Neolithic stuff, stone arrowheads, things like that. And interestingly, above the Saxon level, something who was used in the Second World War as a training ground.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we had one archaeologist who stuck their trowel through a 2.5-inch mortar shell.
Oh, I hope it didn't go off.
No, it didn't. But they were throwing the ammunition into the latrine trench. And I did say that cordite sweats and nitroglycerin.
Well, it's dangerous stuff, cordite.
Yeah, someone's going to go to the lavatory one day after an Indian meal and then boom.
Yes, it doesn't age well.
No.
Hang on, I'll stop my TV from turning off. Carry on talking.
Yeah. So anyway, the site is now open to the public, which is interesting. What I suggest, if you go to the what they call the Royal Mound, you'll see in orange string. Bragi knows about orange string.
Yeah, I do. Indeed, I do.
There's a 90-foot length outline of a ship.
Yes.
There's a circle, and that is where Henry VIII set out with his treasure hunter to explore the mound.
Oh, right. Yes.
And he's exactly 1 foot away from the amazing gold belt buckle.
Oh.
Had he found it, that whole place would have been
Raided.
and we wouldn't have anything.
Do you think it's one of the most important discoveries in Anglo-Saxon English culture?
It certainly ranks among them. I mean, it's difficult to say, you know, but I mean, when you look at the Sutton Hoo stuff, it's unfortunate it happened just before the war started.
Yes, it was unfortunate.
And of course, Saxons, Germany didn't go well.
No.
But there's an interesting story. The guy who, one of the guys who was digging there, he found this 2-ounce gold belt buckle, which opens up, and it was lunchtime, so he stuck it in his pocket, went down the pub. And I said, "Have you found anything?" "No, mate, not a thing." There he is, with this fabulous treasure that's worth millions now in his pocket.
Crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, all the stuff, if you want to see the treasures from Sutton Hoo, are in the British Museum.
I mean, the burial chamber is just fantastic, and definitely worth going to Sutton Hoo just to see the recreation of the burial. It's just awesome.
There is an atmosphere when you go there first in the morning, because we were living in caravans. It was phenomenal. It was always 2 or 3 degrees colder than.
So we had a question here. Said
Oh,
Celtic god, weren't most of our ancestors' burial mounds raided all across Europe?
Yeah, that's very true.
Yes.
We have the quaint term antiquarian, which now translates as treasure hunter. It was done. We have a lot of burial mounds in the Derbyshire countryside.
We do, yes.
And they were, shall we say, explored, i.e. robbed, in about the 18th and 19th century. People thought things differently then. They were looking for gold. Oh, old bones not bothered about that. Oh, stones not bothered about that. And it was accepted practice. Modern archaeology, I think, you know, Scandinavians taught us modern archaeology.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Oseberg digs and it's on a par with what we do today. But in those days, you were looking for treasure, and it turns up in the weirdest places. George V used to have a stud box, you know, when they do the collar.
Yes.
And it turned out he was putting his collar studs in a Neolithic gold pot.
Wow.
How he got it, certainly somebody just gave it to him, but it was a Neolithic gold pot. And stuff like that does get damaged, mislaid, I'm saying politely. And a guy called Bateman actually tried to interpret these sites. And they always call them ancient British or Roman sites. We're learning a lot more now, and the stuff they left behind is quite interesting as well. So yeah,
so
you're quite right. And another question.
Yeah, so we've got a comment from Celtic God, who is a new sub on our channel. So
Hi.
hello, thank you for subbing, and welcome to the channel.
Yeah.
He says archaeology is good for us, and I would say because it's for knowledge.
Yeah.
Treasure hunting is debatable because it's for profit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You're
agree
quite
there.
right.
Yes.
What archaeology is finding the story. Okay, maybe you dig one of those up. Big whoop. We were taught contextual archaeology. So you find a gold belt buckle, a knife, a piece of pottery, a skeleton.
Yeah.
You don't look at the gold brooch as a gold brooch, you look at it as an assemblage.
Yes, of course you do, yes.
And you look at the skeleton.
That's telling a story of that person's life.
Well, with the skeleton now, you can learn a lot. It's like they take a tooth and they can analyse where that skeleton spent its first 4 years of its life. Hot puppies, so what? Well, if you find a graveyard and they've all got this come from, so I don't know, from Kent, and this is Derbyshire, you've got a migration that you would have missed. Archaeology is to teach us about the stuff. Treasure hunting is just for profit, and it's an awful, awful thing.
It is generally so, yes.
Yeah. And, you know...
We have somebody, Koichi Kato, hello from Japan. Oh, hello. Welcome.
Hi. Yeah.
We'd love to have you here, and welcome to the channel.
Yeah. It's good to see you. Was it konnichiwa?
Yeah, I think it is.
That's konnichiwa.
Yeah, my friend is married to a Japanese lady, my old brother.
Well, welcome. I hope to hear from you again. But as I say, I mean, archaeology is. I did archaeology at York, and it's great. It's great fun. It's hard work, but it's trying to discuss. I mean, I worked in a museum, and the person who shall remain nameless.
Yes.
Roger.
Oh, you're welcome.
I was trying to explain that it's destructive.
Yes.
You have to go through the levels until you hit natural.
Yes.
And it's hard for people to understand that maybe you've got a Roman mosaic. Well, theoretically, yeah, that's one phase. But underneath that...
It's going to be older stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the Iron Age and the Bronze Age and the Stone Age.
Well, I mean, I think
Neolithic.
one of the things that I would love to hear more about are stone circles.
Yes.
There is a programme on TV called Standing with the Stones.
Oh, I've not heard of that one.
It's on Channel 93.
Oh, what's what? Oh.
But having said that, we are very lucky that we have quite a few stone circles in Derbyshire.
Oh, yes.
9 ladies.
12 ladies now.
Oh, they found some more?
Yes, they did an archaeological dig, I think, last year, and they unearthed 3 more stones in the circle. So I think it's now got to be relabelled from 9 ladies to 12 ladies.
Oh,
Of course, eventually, when we have a little bit more time on our hands,
like
we'll go there and we'll film in our Viking kit, standing up this old ancient circle, because it's a fabulous place.
It's amazing because you have modern day pagans. If you go there, you'll see prayer tags on the tree.
Yes.
And the locals look after it. You won't see them, but you can
Nice
feel
to see
them.
the heathens up there still going on.
Well, there's 2 ways to get to 12 ladies, and that is you can go up by the main road, or if you go up the back way, there's a stream you can drink from.
I believe the moorland has all been fenced off now to protect it as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's well worth a visit. You've got Dog Tour, and of course Arborough.
Arborough, yes.
Now Arborough
I've been there for a
stones
while.
have always been flat. And they've got cup and ring marks on them.
But it's always interesting to see how the Saxons respected our ancestors' burial grounds.
Well, I mean, this is one of the things that it isn't until about 17th, 18th century, and even then it's rare. You get these crazy vicars who want the stones pulled up.
Yes.
But, you know, I mean, it's the way it is.
We do live in a crazy world. You only got to look at Leif Erikson Day and how that's been taken over by the lefties in America, and all the celebrating is the fact that Leif Erikson, found America, or previously his father would have done, but. Yet again, that's wrong. Now, I was reading the other day, I was reading about Anglo Saxon burials, and I was reading about children burials. And an interesting fact that came across was that as a child gets older, the knife they have with them gets longer and bigger.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very interesting, that.
Well, the sax was a sign of your freedom. Here,
Yes.
Here's one. Not to be confused with the tenor and alto sax.
Got one in here.
Here we go. This is quite a large one.
That's a sharp, and that's a combat one.
Yeah, this one you've got to be a bit careful with. It's quite effective, and it's a sign of your freedom. And you may have heard of places called weapon takes or Wapentag, and the law speaker would say the law, and he'd say, "Do you agree this man's guilty?" All show. If you're guilty, you raise your weapon. If he's not guilty, then you count out. Well, don't have to be Einstein to work that one out. But that's where you met. It's the Saxon version of things that the Vikings had. And some of the laws were quite brutal, but they make sense when you work out. When you were at primary school,
Yes.
you knew roughly the people there. You didn't know every detail, but you knew their names.
Yes.
You knew roughly where they lived, and they knew you. So imagine I pull in, who you've never seen before, and things start going missing, and they'll say, "Why is a bit suspicious?" So maybe I'd have to pick up a bar of iron, walk 13 steps, put it in a trough, bind my hand up. 3 days later, unbind it. If it was septic, I'm guilty. Now, that sounds very unfair, but if they say to you, "Look, admit it," okay, yeah, I did, here you are. Maybe you get off, maybe you won't. But another one was boiling water for women. You stick your hand in a cauldron of boiling water, pick a stone up.
Well, look how they used to try to drown people. And if you drowned, you was innocent, and if you floated, you was guilty.
You're a witch, yeah.
Yes, I mean, that's crazy. We had a comment here from Celtic God. He just said, "Justice is often more brutal than vengeance."
Very true.
Excellent comment there as well.
Yeah, justice is a two-edged sword. Yes, you can get justice, but if people want justice, are you beyond justice yourself? And you think, yeah, maybe I'm not so white and clean of sin as people might think. I know I've done things in my life that I probably deserve justice for. So yeah, very good comment.
Yes, definitely so. But vengeance in the Dark Ages could be very brutal too. You just look at the occasions of burning down long houses with people in them.
Well, the blood feuds were quite common, and they could last. I think I've got a book by an he's dead now, one of my old lecturers, Richard Fletcher, and he talks about blood feuds. One went on for 60 years.
And that's crazy.
But you see in America in the early 19th century, the McCoys and I can't remember the other guys. It went on for a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And
they did a series on that. It was quite good.
Yeah, because it's weird. There's a series called American Pickers.
Yeah, I watched that.
And there was a guy there descended from the McCoys. But that is, that's like a tradition in the Viking Saxon times.
Yeah, I didn't really go and reenact the cowboy scene. Although a lot of people I know, because I was an American Civil War reenactor, did get into that era.
I remember I saw the cowboy reenactors in Matlock, but it didn't do anything.
So we have a comment here from Celtic God, haven't we all?
Yeah.
And the Hacketts and McCoys, I think. Yes.
Was it?
The Hacketts and McCoys.
Hacketts, that's right. Yeah. I mean, you see what I mean? These two families were at each other, and I think it started. They came back from the Civil War. And somebody killed a pig belonging to somebody else. It was
something stupid.
Yeah, it wasn't. And they went on shooting each other, but it would have been the same in Saxon times. That it's a way of getting rid of rivals, and who's going to stop you? That's the thing.
Well, yes.
But there is an interesting thing with the Saxons and law. the hue and cry.
Yes.
That if you're caught, if someone said the whole village chases after you. I think they had a constable of some description. There's an excellent series with Tony Robinson about crime and punishment.
Yes, that's a great series.
I've actually got it on the CD. I'll have to watch it.
Anything with Tony Robinson's in is good.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's not asking daft archaeological questions on digs.
Please. But it's one thing about you could wait 3 days or something, and you see him, he's got a sax and he's sitting on someone's doorstep, and after 3 days he's had enough and goes off. But again, you know, each society must have some form of rules and regulations.
Oh, there must be, yes.
Yeah. And
any more questions you'd like to ask us about the Saxons or even the Vikings? We can talk on both. We're well, read on these subjects, and we continue to read and improve our information and what we know. We have lots of videos and content planned in the future.
Yeah.
I'm currently working on a batch of videos on hordes. Yes. Celtic God, I have been asked where to research stories like the ones you told on your channel. Where do you find them?
Well,
I have a good database and good library of books on folk tales. When I look to tell a folk tale, the most important thing is it's got to be copyright free and published before 1925, which most of them are. And there are one or two websites which will have a lot of folk tales on them too, so they're great sources.
Another one is Kevin Crossley Holland.
Yes.
He actually, see, if you read sagas in the original way, it's very hard to learn.
Yeah, they are hard to learn.
But it's also very hard to listen to the modern mind. So I inject a bit of fun into it. I could see there's people who would like it and there's people who won't, but this is why sometimes we do two versions of a story, so that Bragi will do a more formal one and I will do what I call a silly one.
Yeah, he does more comedy stories, and they're very funny. In fact, some days it's very hard not to laugh behind the camera, and you have to put my hand in my mouth.
Like the church bell.
Yes, like earlier today. So, and it's a great pleasure doing this content for you. It's a just fantastic journey we're on, aren't we?
And also, I don't know whereabouts you are, but charity shops
Celtic God is in America.
Are you in America? Well, I mean, again, charity shops you must have there.
They're heathens, and I watched a video the other day where he was talking about he was sacrificing a pig, and his neighbours didn't really understand what they was doing, as they was practicing a heathen ritual to sacrifice the pig, and he was very respectful to this animal and told it what you're going to do to it, and you couldn't show no more respect to the animal. But the neighbours phoned them up from the police to call them Satanists.
Well,
I mean,
ignorance is a terrible thing.
It's a pity your neighbours didn't actually just come and talk to you like a human being.
But anyway.
And I do mean to leave a comment on that video.
But anyway, as I say, charity shops, you can pick them up, are off Amazon, things like that.
The Penguin Book of Scandinavian Folk Tales is very good.
Just keep having a look round, and they're very entertaining reading. And I think we've got another comment.
Yes, so we have from Koichi Kato. Hi. What do you know of the Hiberno Norse, and why are they not called Vikings?
Well, they still are, but I mean, Hiberno Norse, these are the guys who came to Scotland, they fought the Picts and took over Largs. If you look at their style of jewellery, you get the serpentine, like I've got, but they're like little bosses, cabochons in the style. And that's how we know about Hiberno Norse. Viking actually means river pirate. Vic is a river. And these guys actually settled in Scotland. So it's Hibernia, the old name for Scotland that the Romans gave it, and Norse for anybody from the Scandinavian era. Yeah. So Hiberno Norse, and this is why they're referred to. Although, like you say, they are Vikings.
I know as a war gamer, I painted some Hiberno Norse, and compared to standard Vikings, they do look different. Oh yeah, there are different styles, but I mean, if we want to be pedantic, you can say the Normans and the Vikings are the same. I'd like to have a book on the Hiberno Norse. I don't have one in my library.
Reading about them now.
Yes.
Richard Hall, The Vikings.
Yes.
2005.
Yes, good book that.
Yeah.
And at some point in the future, we're going to do some book reviews, as we both have a big library of books.
Well, this is how I learn as well. I mean,
Yes.
some of my stuff goes back 30, 40 years. Yes, I am old, but it was described to me, knowledge is like a meteorite going through space. Some bits fall away, some bits are acquired, and then some bits fall off, come around and reattach. And it's the same with archaeology and history. Ideas come or go, some are resurrected. And I've got another comment.
Yes, so this is from Koichi Kato. Oh, I would love to read more. Thank you. That'll be on the Hiberno Norse.
Yeah.
So, I'd write down that. I'll put the Hiberno Norse on the content ideas list, and I'll do some research for you, and we'll make you a video on the Hiberno Norse.
Yeah.
I can't promise when it's going to be out, because if any video we're going to do, it can take some time to get it into the pipeline. But we will make one.
You're looking at the whole production staff.
Yes, us two.
Yeah, Laurel and Hardy.
Yes, and I know you are. That's another fine mess you got me into.
Another fine video you've got me in.
Because I was a son of a desert, which is the official line Hardy.
What are you going to say then? Hello.
So, thank you. You're very welcome, Koichi. So, yeah, I will write it down afterwards on our many boards of ideas, down the corridor boards.
Yeah, konnichiwa.
Yeah.
And like I say, I am actually at the moment reading about Hiberno Norse and Irish Norse.
Well, I've got too many things I'm researching.
I know it goes through your head a lot, and so many facts you could take in a day.
Yes.
I keep saying to them, I've got to go to Egil Saga, go to Egil Saga, and it's about the fourth book in a row I've read.
But you know, the sagas are so complicated to tackle.
Yeah,
at
I mean,
times.
the thing I find difficult about sagas, when you read them originally, for some reason, the Vikings had lists, and you go into each thing is detail.
Yes.
Wow. Have we got another comment?
Yes, from Celtic God.
Hi,
So, do
Celtic.
you find linguistics to get in the way of some storytellings on occasions? Question mark.
Yeah.
Like a word might be translated as murder or kill, which can have very different meanings depending on how it's used.
I'll be honest with you, I am slightly dyslexic, and foreign names, which are foreign to me, that is, I find difficult. This is one reason I do humour in my storytelling, because that's how I learned. If you make somebody laugh, you're liable to absorb the knowledge more than if I stand there and pontificate. Different people, horses for courses, but yeah, linguistically you have to be careful. And also another thing is I've had to do it with a saga in that attitudes and traditions are different in the past. They talk about bodily functions and sexual activity.
Yes, of course I do, yes.
Which, in all honesty, would offend people.
Yes, and this is a family-friendly channel,
Yeah.
so some days you have to very carefully choose what to talk about and what not to talk about.
And also, do you really want to hear about those things? Maybe you do, I don't know. But the point is, we have to cater within the parameters that are set for us. And I think the people who own the website might object.
Generally, the folk tales are easy to
Oh,
tell. Often the names of them are far more easier to pronounce. Sometimes you have to learn a number of place names.
But the thing that I find interesting is, we've done it today, when you learn these folk tales, you can adapt them.
Yes.
They are very adaptable. They're very good in that way. I mean, you know, you can add bits, take bits out, put your spin on it, and that's, I think, is quite.
But that's storytelling.
Yeah.
Because no story is the same.
Well,
If you get 100 people telling the same story, by the 100th person, that story will be completely different. It's
Well,
like
this is why
Chinese whispers.
we do the same story in a day, and it'll be different, but it gives you the opportunity to look at it, each one, and think, well, I like that, or I don't like that. That's okay. Well, and that's it. If you look on storytelling as a big box of sweeties, you take the ones you like, you leave the ones you don't like.
And one of the things which you may not know is that we don't rehearse.
Yeah.
So when we tell a folk tale, we generally for the first time we've told this in public. And I generally retain all my folk tales. Once I told them, I generally know them and I can tell them again off by heart, live on camera. Most of them.
I tend to be, I learn it and then bush, it's gone.
Yeah.
Because then I move on to the next thing. But
I sometimes struggle when it comes to the Viking things to get the names pronounced wrong. It's like I'm making a video at the moment on the King Piedar, but is it pronounced Pedar or Piedar?
Or Penda.
Well, Penda was his father.
Yeah.
So
Peda.
yeah. Now I tend to go and look at other people's content and see how they pronounced it.
Of course, when he swore, he became Blue Peter.
I've got Philip O'Hader.
Hi.
Hello from Ireland.
Hello there.
Hello.
Been there, a nice place.
Yes, we do intend to tell some Irish folk tales in the future, so watch out for that.
Yeah, I've been to Closmacnoise. I did a lot of filming at Ardmore Studios in Dublin.
Yes.
And the Closmacnoise is amazing. They've got this tower, and it's been raided by the Vikings 17 times, but it's raided by the Irish 27 times. So.
Wow. I think it's a wonderful country, Ireland, and
Dublin.
I thoroughly enjoyed my time reenacting in Ireland.
And Connemara.
The people are just lovely.
Yeah, Connemara.
And as a folk singer, I was always pretty popular in the pub,
A bit of crack there.
Oh yeah, you can't beat a nice pint of Guinness.
And the trout is gorgeous. It really is.
Another thing, they also make very nice bitter.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have any bitter. I had some Guinness, but.
Celtic God.
What I loved about the Irish was a big ball of mashed potato. You drop it in hot fat. You got this massive croquette.
Oh, lovely.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Celtic God, he says yes. Is it Peter, or Peter? So,
Exactly.
yes.
Tomato or tomato. It's. The short answer is I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, we are going to pronounce things wrong on the channel, but it's not something I'm overly, you could say, worried about.
No, so long as you get the message through.
Yes. But as we film the content, we're learning more.
Sure.
And we're learning how to pronounce more. I mean, naturally, we don't speak Anglo Saxon. I'm not particularly good at speaking English. So.
Well, the thing is, what we're trying to do is to get you, the public, interested in history.
So Philip O'Hader says, yeah, the Vikings just joined in with our party in Ireland.
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah.
Have a horn of mead for me.
Oh yes. If we could join it, we would.
Yeah. So my arms aren't that long.
No.
But yeah, you enjoy yourselves, guys.
If we ever do a world tour, we'll definitely come into Ireland and America and Japan.
Do you know what? It's a beautiful country full of beautiful people.
The world is a beautiful place.
I felt very welcome when I was in Ireland.
I did as well.
I loved it because it was like being back in the 60s as regards time. Here it's worry. In Ireland it's calm down now. I love it.
It's the only time I woke up drunk in the middle of the sea. Well, half from the sea and half from the beach. It was a good night.
But they're good fun people. So thumbs up to Ireland.
Oh yes. Oh, thumbs up everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, any more questions you'd like us to answer on either Saxon culture or Viking culture? We have a font of knowledge here. Egil is an archaeologist. I'm just an amateur myself.
He probably knows more than I do.
I probably do to a degree, but we've both got a collective information. I mean, I know a lot about the crafts within the period because I studied that.
Well, we also have a willingness to look at things. If we don't know, we will tell you.
Yes.
And we will research it. And if you think they're wrong, please tell us. I mean.
Oh yeah, we're not going to be right all the time.
Even diamonds have flaws.
They do, yes, I heard that.
Any more questions? No.
So let's talk about King Alfred then.
King Alfred the Great. He originally wasn't even meant to be king.
No, he wasn't, no.
An elder brother who was killed. He was, he must have been something of a go-getter because when he was a child, they had to learn these poems. And if you learned it, you got the book. So he picks the book up, takes it away and learns it, and sure enough wins the book. But he saw the sense that if you're all divided, like you had Mercia, Wessex,
Yes.
Northumbria, Dalriada, blah blah blah, you could take them down. It's the old Faches thing. One stick can be broken quite easily. Collectively, you can't. And this is what he realised. If we had Angerland
Yeah.
operating under one king, you know, we'd be okay. He had a son, Edward, and he had a daughter, Athelflaed. Yay! And Athelflaed married a guy called Ethelred. Not,
Was it Ethelred the Ready?
no,
No, it wasn't him, wasn't it?
him,
No.
no.
That's another geezer.
He came in later. But she was officially Queen of Mercia.
Yes. Lady of Mercia was a title.
Well,
wasn't it?
she created the title Lady of Mercia. Now, Alfred, as we know, his armies were pushed back and back until he was in the marshes of Athelney. Now, in Athelney, an archaeological site has been found with iron slag, and they've been making weapons, and I can't remember the name of the place, but he rallied the locals to this particular stone, and they went out and they fought, and King Guthrum was supposedly going to take the whole of England. Alfred taught him better. They made a treaty, exchanged hostages, he went away.
Athelstan.
Not Athelstan, Guthrum.
Yeah, well, he became Athelstan, didn't he?
Well,
Was that a chosen name?
you're going before your horse to market.
No.
He then came back, breaking the treaty. Alfred taught him what's what, and the Treaty of Wedmore came out, where he was baptised and became Athelstan,
Yes.
and nipped off to East Anglia. And this time he did keep the peace until his death. Raids were
Well, that was about 5 years later. Yeah, that's a short reign.
After that, Alfred still, he created a system. He realised armies and communities need food to survive. So you've got to bring the harvest in, which is all well and good. So he had the fyrd, which means, say we were in the fyrd, Bragi would have to do a certain period of time. When his time was up, he'd go back and harvest, and I would join and move forward. And the Vikings formed the 5 boroughs: Derby, Nottingham, Leicester, Lincoln and Stafford. These were strong points rather than a wall. And he said, if you want to defeat the Vikings, you've got to take these. 917, Queen Athelflaed comes to Derby and defeats the Vikings. This is a very thumbnail sketch. And she made peace with them, and she said, basically what she was saying, I don't care whether you're a Viking, a Saxon, or whatever, behave yourself, you'll be okay. Mess with me, and look at what happened to Derby. And eventually, she looked after King Athelstan, who was Edward the Elder's son, and he was to become Regia Anglorum, King of England. And thereby hangs another story. And I do believe we've got another comment.
Yes, from Philip O'Haydar. Did the Irish Vikings ever take York?
They visited York. To be honest with you, Viking York, it became a major trading port, and I mean major in the sense silks from the east. You'd get
garnets.
Amber, garnets. Well, garnets. They were actually cut off from because the Chinese had a war around there, and it cut off the supply.
Oh, that the Salt Road cut off. Yes,
that's right. But there were major trades. You got slaves, you got ivory, you got jet, because Whitby's nearby.
Yes.
The Irish, no, they didn't. As far as I may be wrong. I seem to remember, but
well, no doubt those trading.
They were trading with them. I mean, as we know, Dublin is a Viking state. Dunblane, Dartpool.
And how would Dublin compare with the size of York? Would it have been about the same?
It varied. It came very prosperous, but unfortunately, not only were the Irish trying to take it back, you'd got other Vikings trying to take it over. The culmination was the Battle of Clontarf with the last true king of Ireland, Brian Boru. Although Brian Boru's side won, Brian Boru, his head was smashed in with an axe whilst in his tent, and he was an old boy getting that way. But the Vikings, like wherever they went, they tended to blend in very quickly. So although the Irish had names for the Vikings, eventually it all came together. But Dublin was on a par, certainly, with Jorvik later on.
Well, definitely so, yes. Lovely place to visit.
Fantastic fun, and if you get the chance to go on their long ship, which is there, do it. You'll love it.
I believe the Irish National Museum has a very nice collection of Viking silver. In fact, I have a book on it somewhere.
In fact, Irish treasures. I went to the British Museum to see the work of angels.
Yes.
You want to see that? Go to Ireland. The Ardagh Chalice and their belt buckles. Wow, they made something who look cheap.
They do, yes. I mean, they had their own designs.
Oh, yeah.
And artwork, and I just found it fantastic and
also
inspiring.
The guy was asking about stories. The Irish stories, you know, Finn McCall, people like that, are fantastic. The Mabinogion for the Welsh,
yes.
And the stories that the Irish have, and they have such a way of phrasing it, it's fantastic. That yeah, I was going to say, one day I'll go back to Ireland.
Yes, one day we're going to do a world tour. So far, I've got 8 people watching.
Yeah.
We did have 9 people watching, so that's probably the most we've had on a live stream, I think.
Well,
so thank you very much.
Yeah.
So do you have any more questions, anybody, or sure we could talk about other things? I mean, would you have told a difference in in the 7th or 8th century between the Viking and the Saxon when they're both living in each other's cultures?
It's absorption. I mean, you got problems. I mean, King Canute, you know, he was badly counselled. The St. Brice's Day massacre, when they're supposed to have killed Vikings, the wives and children backfired on him because they turned around and had to go back. And we've got a comment.
So we have a comment from Celtic God.
Celtic God.
The Berserker on the Bridge, Woden Bridge, I think it's called. Who wrote that story? Question mark. The Vikings or the English? And that would be relating to Stamford Bridge, I believe.
Yeah. It is said. Well, what happened was they didn't expect the Saxons so soon, which is difficult to say. And the armies were caught. Literally, half of them were sunbathing, so they had to get back to the other side. So they did. But this Viking, apparently the big berserker guy with a Dane axe, held off the army, and he did a magnificent job. However, the Saxons got a guy in a barrel with a long spear, and 'tis said that they brocked him, stabbed him up in between the legs and killed him.
Not a nice way to go.
No, but what a guy to have done that, to hold off that.
I mean, he must have had some backbone to do that, because, that would have been scary.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you think after that, the rest is history, as they say. I mean, the Viking fleet, Viking force was killed, and if you go to the Jorvik Centre, there is a skeleton there from a guy from Rickle, and what it is, that's the Viking army had parked their ships on the Rickle, which is by the sea. And the sad thing is, the Vikings, like any battle at that time, would bring their wives and children with them, and the losers would get slaughtered.
Of course, we know about the accounts of Stamford Bridge from the Anglo Saxon Chronicle.
Oh, yeah, we've got something else.
So, Philip O'Haydar says, I was at the 150th anniversary of the finding of the Ardagh Chalice.
Nice one.
That's very cool, which was last month.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful shape, isn't it?
It is.
And the Irish have such an appreciation of the artistic things.
It's just fantastic, it really is.
I mean, you look at the Book of Kells or things like that.
Oh, yes.
But the Ardagh Chalice, it's just sensuous, the shape of it. It's beautiful. And, yeah, nice one.
Yes, I'll have to write that down on our list of ideas. I think I will make a video on that for you, on the Ardagh Chalice. And definitely look up Irish hoards as well for you.
Well, I remember as a student, we went from York to the British Museum just to see that it was called the Work of Angels, because some guy in the 18th century saw it and said, surely this isn't the work of man, it is the work of angels.
Well, you could see that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you look at the stuff and it's phenomenal. Hang on, we've got another one.
Celtic God. Yes, very
Celtic.
Poetic and artistic people.
Yeah.
Yes, we take it for granted that they were so talented. They really were.
Great storytellers, great people, and really nice food.
And we called it the Dark Age when really it should be the Light Age
Yeah.
because, you know, it wasn't dark. It was colourful,
Well, there's also,
dramatic.
as English people, we don't get taught Irish history, which
No.
is a great shame. They were far more civilised than we were, I can assure you. You'd read these stories, you know, and wow, and the artefacts, and it's just a very nice place to be.
No, but it's one of the things with learning. You go to school, you learn about your own country's history, but you're not taught about the history of Saxony or the history of Ireland.
Yeah.
And the backstory to all that must be amazing.
Yeah.
So Philip O'Hader, there's so much happening in England, it is hard to call it the Dark Ages. Yes.
Exactly, and
Yes.
the more we discover, the less dark the place seems.
I like to use the term the Dark
Yeah.
Ages because it's a term we all know about.
Well, it's just a convenience for academics. It's
Yes.
like you go to bed as a Roman and wake up in the
Yes.
early medieval period.
Yes.
Yeah.
It got changed from Dark Ages to early medieval.
Well, I mean, when I was a lad, it was called the Middle Ages.
Yes.
Now that's being moved on, but
So what do you know about the Middle Angles?
Middle Angles, Middlesex.
No, the Middle Angles of Mercia.
Yeah, well, he throws these things at the fire here. Short answer is not a lot.
Yes, I'm researching King Penda at the moment.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot of information on him, but I was surprised by the lack of information on his son, King Penda.
Well, you think the main
So
source
I
we
intend to
use,
correct.
the main source of our knowledge is the Anglo-Saxon Chronicles.
Yes,
And the Anglo-Saxon Chronicles are based in the southern areas of the country. I'm sure there was a Mercian Chronicle, but we haven't found it or it's been
No.
destroyed.
it's a shame.
There's even a story that there could be Athelflaed may have a chronicle of her own. When you think of her standing in
That would be a
society.
fantastic read.
Oh yeah, but we've either not found them or lost them because a lot of manuscripts were lost at the time of the Reformation. Then you got Jolly Ollie Cromwell coming around and again causing problems, destroying stuff. So
We have a comment from Celtic God.
Hi Celtic God.
The stereotype of backwards barbarian pre-Christianity disturbs me because the technology and art was astounding.
I'm
Yes.
with you. Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Yeah, we still suffer from that from time to time. It's silly to say that people, because they don't believe a certain way, are backward. They may be spiritually, in the eyes of the people who practice that particular religion. I'm being very democratic.
Yes.
I mean, classic case. Until the 19th century, if you mention the history of Africa, they'd say, oh, it's just grass, oh, it's fine. Until they discovered Great Zimbabwe. And for generations, people said, oh, no way, the locals couldn't have built that. And they've proved wrong. Great Zimbabwe was built by the Africans, hence the country now called Zimbabwe. And it's the same, you know, this Victorian thing of Christianizing everything. And one thing you have to realise with the sagas, they've all been got at. Snorri Sturluson was a bishop, and he would have gone through them and selected bits because he's missed bits. And the most famous story of all, the Saxons, Beowulf, has been Christianised. They've missed bits, and they've probably missed the point of the story.
Yes.
But the point is, you have to accept that a lot of the stuff is either gone underground or is taken out. So,
Of course, that reminds me to make that video about Grendel not being a troll, but indeed being the undead at Dragar, which I'm going to make soon.
Yeah, I'll be interested to hear about that.
Yeah, well, you might be in it.
I'll be honest, I'd never really thought about Grendel as anything.
No, I didn't until recently when I started thinking about it. When we made the troll video, which I think I may have to remake now.
Yeah.
We called Grendel a troll in it, and the more I think about it, the more he isn't a troll.
Oh, well.
He was a troll. He died, and he became a dead troll, the Dragar, the Applaganger, the After Walker.
Okay, what's next?
Yes, any more questions? Please feel free. We're not going nowhere for a while, unless the camera dies on us,
Yeah, right.
as it did on the last live stream. But we've got a good battery at the moment.
Uh-huh.
So who's your most favourite character out of the Dark Ages?
Well, I
It'll be
mean,
your namesake.
I got my name from Egil Skallagrimson. Queen Athelflaed is another one.
Yes, we'll look at that in a second.
You see, what people don't realise is Egil Skallagrimson actually existed. He was related to Snorri Sturluson, and I think he had Paget's disease because he went blind in the last few years of his life, and it said he used to hold his head and shake it. And what it is like a build-up of bone. Now, they found his skull, so what did? They hit it with the flat side of an axe. Didn't break it, it just went white. So whether it's Paget's disease or not.
Celtic Gods put a comment. Question is, who plays Grendel? Question mark. That's an interesting point, that.
I've got an Icelandic film about Beowulf, and it starts off with a child playing Grendel. Then you get this big muscly guy doing it. The name of the actors, I'm sorry, I can't remember. But I'm sure we can find out next live stream.
Because we are going to review the trailer for Beowulf soon, so that's one of the next ones we're going to do. So watch out for that in the future. Now we have a comment here from Alex Moss. So hello and welcome to the channel.
Hi,
do you read folk ballads?
No, I don't
No.
personally, but
Generally, when we tell a tale or a folk tale on the channel, we're not reading them. We're learning them and doing it from memory.
yeah.
And I guess I would probably associate ballads with more later medieval times. In the future, it's possible we could do some ballads for you. And we may have to read them because some of these ballads are very long and I could never remember all of them.
Roland, for one, I've got a copy of that. It's about a book about that thing.
I think there's a big difference between trying to learn a poem and trying to learn a folk tale. Folk tales are very easy to learn and remember, but trying to learn every line of a poem is, for me, would be very difficult.
Same here, as I say, I'm dyslexic, so I have to. That's why I interpret things. That's the polite word for it.
And I do have quite one or two books on medieval ballads, so I'll have a look at that in the future for you. And, thank you for your comment, Alex. And we'll just keep going. I was reading something interesting about, you say about runes and how those continue to be used.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised to learn that in Finland they were still using runic calendars in the 18th century.
Oh, yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. Well, one of it was, I forget where it was, I think it was Iceland. The vicar they needed a vicar, and one of the conditions was that you had to be able to read runes.
Yes, so Alex Moss said some of the stories in the ballad go back centuries. Yes, it would do, yes.
It is.
Yes. And then we have another comment from Kurichi Kato, and I do hope I'm pronouncing that right.
We're sorry if we're mispronouncing.
What was the impact of the Vikings in Anglo Saxon artwork? Was it affected or influenced by them in any way?
Yeah, it affected them. Yeah, this is one reason that we can date things. I mean, my tattoo here, this is what's called Ringerike style because it's from Ringerike, but you've got other types of styles as well. And basically, if you look at the beginnings of Dark Age art, it's Celtic, and it sort of blossoms into Anglo Saxon style, and then you look at the Viking styles as well, and it's an adaptation of it. You get lots of intertwining beasts, lines going under and over.
A lot of these zoomorphic animals.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. I mean,
you could spend a whole hour or a whole day talking about that alone.
There's people who've got careers based on it, but yes, it was a profound effect on art, poetry as well.
Yes.
And this is something people forget. And there is a saga which I want to do. You were inspired by Cavazier, I've pronounced it wrong.
Oh, the dwarf.
Yeah, it was mashed up and made into mead. Odin had 9/10 of it, and 1/10 goes to humanity.
Must have been good mead.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, flying like an eagle, dropping the pot, and then a snake. It's very convoluted. I'll have to do that one.
Yes, definitely. More saga content on the way.
We are saga louts.
Oh yes, I love a good Viking saga.
Anything else? Oh, another comment.
All right, Alex Moss, do you know anything on the symbology of the intertwining artwork?
Some of it, I think, refers to Jormungandr, the serpent,
world serpent
that goes round the earth and eats his got his tail in its mouth. But dragons are something that fascinates me. It's one of these universal things. You got them in China, India, England, and you know.
Want to demonstrate this with the Coppergate helmet?
Yeah, go for it.
You hang on, carry on.
But there are certain things like dragons that are represented. I mean, the Sutton Hoo belt buckle. There was, I think, 13 animals we counted on it, and it's all interwoven, and it's just part of the art style, I guess, but well worth a look. And intertwining beasts are quite a common feature. I'm filling in while Bragi, here he is. Bragi's got the lid.
Yeah, you take over from that.
Oh, this is an Anglo Saxon style helmet. Now the original was found outside the centre.
Put it closer for them.
Now the nose guard at the top there has actually, the original's got a cut in it while they were testing the quality of the brass. This would have been a high ranking person's helmet, and you've got Jormungandr, but also you have another Anglo-Saxon religious symbol. If you look at the nose guard where it forms a T, that is the Irminsul. The Vikings had the world tree, the Saxons had the Irminsul, which was holding the sky up. A very potent symbol to an Anglo-Saxon.
There you go.
So there you go.
Fantastic bit of work for this.
Yeah. We've got some more comments, I believe.
Right. Awesome tattoo. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Koichi Kato, yes, and you are going to make a video on Viking tattoos.
Yeah.
Speculating whether they had them or not.
Yeah, I wish we'd done it earlier because it's going to be cold out there soon, but never mind.
Well, we can do it indoors, it's no
Yeah.
problem.
Sick bags will be provided. Anything else?
Yes, we've got a comment here from Celtic God.
Yeah.
The overlap of scroll work and artwork of the European tribes. What is your opinion on why the strong similarities? Well, I think culture would have mixed and would have.
I mean, the Vikings
shared the
travelled.
artwork.
The Vikings travelled a lot around the world, and of course their influence, and they were influenced in turn. But it's just that things fascinate me, the way things like dragons are there, you know, and where did they get it from? Well, maybe the Vikings travelled further than we thought. Maybe they did go out far east. I don't see why they shouldn't. But...
And we also forget about craftsmen. If a craftsman was very good at his job, so let's say I was a silversmith and I could manufacture gold items to the standard of Sutton Hoo or the Staffordshire Hoard, that would give me access to travel the known world making that, because people would have been in demand and kings would have been in demand for those people. So I think partly why we get sorts of crossover of artwork is because of that as well.
What's the next comment?
So we had a 8888 Funky Town said, where did you get that helmet? Well, this is a helmet, and this is manufactured and made by a man called Ivor Lawton.
Oh, he's the
and,
best.
I expect you won't get much money out of $3 grand for this these days, for a new one, because it's a bang-on copy. You won't get a better copy on this.
Rivet for rivet, you can't beat it.
You can study the book, the Coppergate helmet book, and you can study this helmet, and there's not a flaw in it.
Am I right in saying that it's Ivor Lawton who makes the repro Sutton Hoo helmet and
yes,
sword?
Ivor Lawton recently made the Sutton Hoo helmet and the sword for the museum.
Very impressive.
And that would have cost them a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not cheap. I mean, your shoes.
I paid £1,000 for this.
Yeah. And
so it shows you the kind of money you can spend on this hobby, you know.
Well, I mean, the shoes alone, about £100, was it?
No, these would be. I don't think you get much change out of £500 for a pair of these shoes from either.
£150.
Not that I don't think he'll make you any of these days.
Well, he's in Germany now.
Yeah, he's probably retired.
These came from John Watkins, good old John Watkins, who made these. Okay, that's that. So,
if you send us some free stuff, but I doubt it. So there's that helmet for you.
Okay. Any more questions?
Yes, keep asking your questions, or you have any more comments? Any suggestions for content in the future? We're always happy to, work with our subs and our fans. And if you're not subscribed to us, then please go and subscribe.
I've got an aching back.
Yeah, I've got an aching shoulder from my shield shoulder. But it makes you think, because, they must have had aches and pains from using...
the Saxons used to say that, when you got a pain, it was elf shot.
Yeah.
There were little elves with bows and arrows.
Yes.
Who knows? Maybe they're right.
Well, lots of folktales revolving that very theme. Some on the channel.
Okay. I think that's it, isn't it?
No, well, we've still got 9 people watching, so I've got 10 people watching now. So
Right.
I've got 10 people watching. We'll keep
they've got a
going.
question.
So, 8888 Funky Town.
Yep.
Hello and welcome to the channel, Funky Town.
Hi, Funky Town.
Was there any great difference between the Angles and the Saxons?
It's just the areas they came from.
Yes.
We get the name of England from the Angles.
England.
Yeah, and the Saxons came from Saxony. Well, basically, when you talk about an Anglo-Saxon army or a Saxon army, it's the leader who is from that area. They could be from anywhere, you know, from anywhere in Scandinavia or even native British. It's just that the leaders, that's how they say the army's origin is. We've got 2 more questions, I believe.
Yes. So we have
Philip.
So Philip O'Hader, I guess they just got used to the kit. So yes, they would have done. I mean, as a reenactor, you get used to your kit, and surprisingly, this kit's very comfy. And
It's like we've been filming outside. It's been a bit chilly. All that's different was my hands were a bit chilly.
yeah, it's very warm, and it's nice and cold in summer.
Yeah.
It's a pity we couldn't wear it in modern life as I would do.
Yeah.
I'd probably look like one, you know. Anyway, Celtic god, pray to Odin
Yeah.
for new transportation and get a chance to buy a great pair of shoes. Oh yes.
Well, I've been praying to Odin and I still ain't got new shoes.
I might make you a pair one day.
But it's amazing actually that a sense of humour. This is for all you pagans. The Odin and all of them have a sense of humour.
Yes.
And I guess that's true of Christian God as well. I don't know. He doesn't have much.
Well,
to
humour is
do
a
with
very
it.
old thing, and it's very important. Life's too short not to laugh.
The reason I keep leaning across is I can't see without glasses. This is why Bragi's reading it.
So Philip O'Hader, it's a too bad cotton just took over. Yes, to a degree, yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, spinning. I've done quite a bit of spinning, and what brought it home to me is trying to spin flax. My fingers actually bled,
Yes.
and it sort of goes into like a hard cricket ball shape.
Is it because our hands are softer these days compared to how we used to be?
I must admit the spinners must have had big calluses on their fingers, because I've tried flax, I've tried ordinary sheep's wool, which is mostly done,
Of course, we'll make a video on that.
and I think it was some alpaca.
Yes.
So that was really nice to spin. But the hardest of all is flax, but it gets such a fine thread. I can see why people liked it.
Yeah, so it's always amazing the fact that, you know, cotton was heavily used
Yeah.
in the 19th century, but yet we still relied on having wool, you know.
Well, I mean, this is it. I mean, cotton was cheap when we had the empire.
Celtic god, what exactly is flax?
Flax is, you've heard of linen cloth. Well, it's made from a plant called the flax plant. It looks like grass, and it's very it's a bit like cotton, but it's very harsh on your fingers. When you you have to pull it, twist it as it drops on the thing. Looks like a mushroom, and the weight pulls it and twists it, but it's extremely hard on your fingers. Irish linen is very popular around
Irish
the world.
linen's the best.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had a linen
Lovely.
tablecloth till a girl I was entertaining burnt a hole in it with a cigarette.
Oh,
bless
never
her.
mind, but
That's not what I said, but it's near enough.
you and your many strange encounters in life.
Yeah, I met some strange people.
Of course, you know, in modern life, we're more likely to be used hemp for clothing.
Yeah.
Which should be used more often, as well as biofuel.
Well, they
Going
make
off subject.
they make paper out of it, and also, which they would have probably have used. You see, this is one of the things that we are restricted by what the archaeological record gives us. We know they used wool because we found bits of wool, and sorry, Reggie, we know they had black cloth because in York we found black herringbone.
That's the Society Regia and Clorum he was referring to there, which were
This-
both been members of in the past.
We know this is a very ancient colour that Bragi is wearing. If you just lift your leg up, yeah, this is got by henna. Sorry, I'm wrong.
This is more like a salmon pink.
Yeah,
I think it's faded over the years.
yeah. We found when I was on a site, I dug it and I just put blog question mark, and it turned out it was not henna. What's it called?
Oh, I know you're on about, but I forgot. I thought it was henna what you told me
No,
before.
henna's for your hair, makes
Yeah.
it dye red. Anyway, I've forgotten. We'll get back to you.
Yeah.
But after 3,000 years, this lady took some of this and dyed wool, and it came out this colour. And I will go back to it. It annoys me when I forget things.
Yeah, well, we are live on camera, and you can forget things on camera.
Yeah.
You can forget things when we're recording.
It'll come to about 3 o'clock this morning.
Yes, it always the way.
It's,
You just suddenly relax and you remember it.
but again, this is more like flax.
Yes, so I think this is an Irish linen
Yeah.
tunic, and I've got a nice under tunic underneath.
God, no wonder you're warm.
Yeah, I think my ex-girlfriend made this one.
Oh, hang on, we've got a
So
question.
we've got a question here from Philip O'Hader.
Hi, Philip.
Hope not one takes this wrong way,
Yeah.
but is it true Saxon women rather Viking men over their own because
Yeah.
they smelled better?
That is very true. Now,
I never heard that.
yeah, the Vikings took a bath once a week, whether they needed it or not. Now,
Was it on a Wednesday?
Saturday night, and what it was, they'd get a bowl. The chief would wash his face.
Yes, you see this in the
And-
13th Warrior.
He'd blow up his nose, in his ears, and then pass it to the next one. So when you're right down the social scale, you get this. Oh, I'm not bothered. But the thing was, the Christian church outlawed washing because, you know, the end of the day when you have a shower and you get that feeling for a
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
Well, that was considered sinful. And the
Yeah.
priest, if you were doing that, the priest would fine you.
Cool, blimey.
But of course, this meant the Vikings didn't niff as much.
Yes.
However, if you asked Ibn Fadun, he'd have told you they stank. But they were cleaner than the Saxons, and of course that attracted the ladies.
888 Funky Town, I said after Christianity.
Yeah.
And then we have a comment from Celtic God. Saturday equals washing day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did my wash day yesterday. I'm a clean pants boy now.
Yeah. Not going commando then.
Oh no, I never do. The world doesn't.
Need that.
Yeah, that's a bit too explicit for anyone. So yeah.
But you know, you take underwear for granted these days, but what would they have the equivalent?
They'd have probably had loincloths.
Hose?
You'd have had cloth around the your gentleman's vegetables, and Saxons wore. It sounds very odd, but they had hose with like clips, suspenders on.
Yeah.
They also had, incidentally, cufflinks.
Yes. Well, not cufflinks, but they had
yeah, they were clasps
equivalent.
that held.
Wrist clasps.
They also, the aristocrats, wore a very long tunic down past the knees.
I'm going to make some soon.
Yeah. Oh,
For
we've got
this
another.
tunic.
We've got another.
Yes, Celtic God. Turn the clothes the other way on. Rodin's Day. So turn them inside
Yeah.
out.
Well, there is a theory, and I have no idea whether this is true, that priests in the pagan period would wear their clothes back to front. Hence, when you see a vicar or a priest, they have that white collar bit, and it's supposed to represent the shirt on back to front.
Right.
Whether that's true or not,
I'm not heard
just
of that.
let us know. Anything else?
Well, no doubt they'll come in.
Yeah.
Just give it a second or two, you know. But it does make you think, you know, we take having showers for granted, and there's nothing better when you're feeling ill than having a shower, is there?
Yeah, well, a Saxon priest would have had you about that.
Yeah. But what was it about King Alfred not eating meat? Because I see that in The Last Kingdom when he was refusing to eat meat. And after the battle, he wanted meat desperately.
They had the church instituted.
Why was it a
these
sin?
days, just out of respect for their religion.
Yeah.
But they had fish days, and also you could eat an otter because that was classed as a fish.
Oh, right.
But
We wouldn't eat otters today, would we?
no, I doubt you wouldn't find one really in the wild. But it was odd. They ate a lot of fish, even right up through the high medieval period.
So we have a question here from 888 Funky Town.
Hi.
I said 8888 Funky Town. What do you guys think of Halloween?
Samhain to me.
Yes. The old pagan festivals.
To me, as a Norse pagan, it's a very important day where we do our things and we have a very good feast afterwards. it's not a sinister thing like the.
Well, Halloween is, because Halloween is fundamentally a satanic festival.
Yeah, well, we don't.
If you look at the back data of it, there's a guy, I can't remember his name, he did a very good video on Halloween talking about its origins. But in the modern culture, you know.
We don't have any
That's
of that
debatable.
nonsense. It's to us, it's you contact your ancestors.
It's you know, it's equivalent of the pagan festival.
Yeah, it's where the veil between this world and the next is thinner. You contact your ancestors and the spirit. Its switchboard is switched on. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
And then you have a feast afterwards, and everybody else.
I don't celebrate Halloween. Oh.
No, well.
I celebrate Samhain.
Yeah,
actually.
well, Samhain is what I do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Celtic god talks. Was that just a Celtic thing, or many peoples?
The talk we associate with the ancient British.
Should I get my Viking one out?
Yeah.
You carry on.
There are variations in the Vikings had what's called neck rings, which were sort of solid necklaces, whereas a talk was sort of horseshoe shaped with a knob on each end, and was a lot more. There was a lot more metal in it. This one is comparatively skinny compared to an ancient British talk, but it's a neck ring, is what they.
So this is a silver neck ring.
Yeah.
It's a Viking one.
Again, high ranking, but also not just for just for looks, but
got to wear it today.
it's also hack silver.
Yes, it's also money.
Yeah, whereas a Celtic talk was a sign of rank, and it said that Queen Boudica had 3. I don't know. She must have had a big neck to wear 3 talks, but there you go.
Well, must be, yes.
Yeah.
And some of these, especially the Celtic golden talks, wow.
There is actually an interesting story. A guy had in his attic what he thought was a coffin handle. Turned out to be a Celtic talk worth quite a.
Yes, I read about that. So 8888 Funky Town said, is it widely celebrated in England, and that's to do Halloween?
Halloween.
Yes, I would say it's been very commercialised.
Halloween now earns more than Christmas.
Yes.
We actually still have got people advertising Christmas now. It's probably the same.
But you get Halloween, and the week after Halloween finishes, then all the Christmas items come out. But there's already Christmas items in the shop.
I
It's
remember
disgraceful.
one year we had Bonfire Night advertised, 5th of November, and they were still advertising it in January.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, that was. I won't tell you who it was, but.
So we have a comment here from Celtic God. Isn't it wonderful the heathen holidays and celebrations always end in a feast? At least that's how my family always did it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. It did end in a
Cakes
feast.
and Ales, it's called.
Yes.
And what's wrong with that is really great. It does annoy you that the old festivals are taken over by.
Well, they were Christianised, weren't
Yeah.
they? So.
I mean, it's like Christmas, Easter.
And you can understand from the Christian point of view why they did that.
Oh, I understand why they did it, but there's nothing more. It amazes me when they talk about candles, holly, ivy. You know, and there's nothing more pagan than that. But it's always associated with Christmas. But anyway, if that's what you want to do, then do it.
Well, it's all to their own, you know. You want to go out and celebrate Halloween?
Yeah.
Fair enough. I tend to celebrate 5th of November more, you know.
Well, I mean.
And the pagan festival, of course.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, I don't see religion as a bar to friendship. One of my best friends, she is an Anglican.
Yes.
And she knows about me, and I know about her, and we get on. And we have a good talk about things, not just religious.
Well, it's always good to debate these things and talk about these things.
Oh, yeah. And I try and.
We're back again.
Battery when.
No, it's not battery, I don't think. I think it's just we just got disconnected for a second. It can happen. It's at peak time in the evening when people are coming on the internet. So, and we've still got 7 people watching. So that's great. So this will probably be one of our longest live streams.
Yeah, I know.
And we do promise to do more in the future for you.
Yeah. My poor old bag. But, we got any more?
Yes. Perhaps we'll do a live stream next time, standing up.
Well, we could do standing up and sitting down and standing up.
Well, I can alter the camera for you. You want to stand up and do it? That's no problem. 8 people watching, so thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Trying to think what to say now. Yes. I do like the Heathen Holidays, I must
Hang
say.
on, we've got a.
Are you guys on Instagram?
I'm not.
We do have an Instagram account, although I don't really use it, and I need to actually go on there some more and link it up to the channel. So one of the problems with YouTube is I try not to send people away from YouTube because it's a bad practice. If I start putting videos out on Facebook or the new Instagram video thing, that'll be taking away people from YouTube, and YouTube generally don't like that. And it's considered to be a bad thing when you're starting out on a channel to kind of spread you know where you are with too many social networks. So
Well, you're doing all right.
we will be in the future.
Hang on, we've got another comment.
I have tried to join the Instagram video thing, but I couldn't get it to edit vertically. So I'm still looking at that.
What does it say? I haven't.
So I have invited a few Christians to our celebrations, and they thoroughly enjoyed themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. We used to do that in York, and we used to have good fun. There was a good scene out in York.
Well, it
It's
would have
pretty-
been the same back in the day.
pretty-
Heathen and Christian would have probably partied together. You could see
Oh.
it, couldn't you?
Yeah, York. It was great when I was there, but it's pretty quiet around here. But it's.
I mean, my family aren't pagan or heathen. I'm the only heathen in my family.
Yeah,
So
same here.
same for you. So, you know, it would be nice to have a family that were heathen to a degree.
Well, there's plenty of organisations out there. Who you want to do what you do on your own. That's what I do. I mean, I'm with the Odinic Fellowship, and we're pretty much left on our own. Well, I am anyway. Hint, hint, hint.
Yeah, I studied more shamanism over the years. I found that to be fascinating. But it's a pity that there's not enough Norse information on Norse shamanism left. Heathens are a boisterous bunch for sure.
Yeah.
Yes,
We do our thing.
yes. They definitely like to party and have a beer. Yes, and a good sing songs.
Especially those Norse boys, girls.
Yes, get your drums out and that's
Yeah.
it.
I hope we run along.
So 8888 Funky Town. Well, thank you guys. Love the channel. Maybe we can hear some stories related to Samhain
Yeah.
or its variants. Yes,
Yeah.
that's something we'll cover in the
Okay.
future. Probably be better you do that more than
Yeah.
me.
We'll do our best for you. And it's always great
I mean,
to hear from people.
I mean, if I count up all the videos we're going to make in the next couple of years, I'll probably have somewhere between 500 and 1,000 videos planned. So it shows you the long-term aim of this channel is to have a very good and big library of decent content. And I do hope we are providing that for you.
Yeah.
Although we are very new to this game.
Another question.
And do you guys do reviews on Viking kit as well?
We can do.
We are planning to do so in the future, looking at some manufacturers to possibly send us some kit, and then we'll give them a good review.
Yeah,
And we're also going to review our own individual kit as well in the future. So yes,
Gulp.
so
Anybody
we'll get you
else?
some more kit,
Yeah.
don't worry. Yeah, and there's a lot of manufacturers and traders out there, so yes, we'll definitely will be looking
Some
in
are
the
good,
future.
some are not so good, but I think you'll find the ones that are not so good get weeded out by various organisations.
Yes, we wouldn't want to give a bad review, but
No.
we wouldn't want to also get bad kit.
Depends what you want to use it for. If you want to fight in it, or whether it's just for show.
Yes,
Yeah,
but we're not stitch counters.
but there are people out there who are.
Yes.
Trust me. But, no doubt. Okay. One more.
Yes, can you show off your currently worn kit? Yes, let's stand up. I'll alter the camera and I'll move it back slightly for you. So that's wait a minute, it's my helmet.
Tripped over your lid.
It's alright. Try to ignore the modern room around us. So, I'm dressed today as more of a Saxon, you could say. I'm wearing a nice skirter and under tunic, very essential in this cold weather. I'm wearing a nice leather pouch, which will have a few things in probably. I like to carry authentic items when I walk around. And I got, various things in here, some keys.
Cleaning kit.
You
Oh,
got,
you got your shears.
yeah, I found my shears the other day.
I had some shears there with Nick.
That's right. Well, I got some spare ones somewhere then. And there's another one there. Look.
Yeah.
A Viking key for my chest.
Yeah.
Got my silver in there. And I got an old leather belt on with a buckle.
And the strap end.
I've got a bag full of silver ingots because I'm wealthy. wearing a nice cloak. This was the first cloak I made, probably about 15 years ago.
Alright.
Now, I'm also wearing some nice leather turn shoes, so you can see them.
Gives you a term and it tells you how much
Just
it
go
costs.
through your kit.
Okay, we're starting from the top. I've got a leather cap with a bit of fur on it, keep the old head warm. I've got the necklace itself. Each bead is worth a rich man's wage for a week. By the way, I'm a Viking, not a Saxon. I have my green skirta and I have an under skirta. I've left my sword off, an axe, because it was difficult sitting down with
Yes,
it on.
it can be difficult.
That's suspended from a baldric, which goes across and you tie it on there. I have my eating knife, or sax. Yeah, that's actually quite sharp.
Yes.
And then of course I have my sax, a wound knife, and that's jolly useful.
Oh yes, you can carve your meat with that as well, and on your roast.
I have a bag pouch rather than a purse. This contains my fire starting kit, which is a piece of steel and what's that? Iron pyrites.
Yeah.
That ring is to hang my axe from. The axe is not just a weapon; it's a survival.
It's a tool.
Yeah. Now the trousers, I've got very big trousers. You store apples for winter in these.
Sure, you could.
But it keeps you warm. Here I have leg bindings, and that's to protect my trousers from wear. Because trousers are expensive. There's 13 miles of thread in something like this. My shoes again are turn shoes. They're more like little boots actually, but they've got little toggles on them. Let's try this side so you can see.
Yeah.
They've got toggles on, and a hard sole.
And you've got a toilet set as well.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that. There you go, look.
I'll make you a better leather thong for it soon.
Tweezers, ear pick, and I don't know what that is, but hey.
Now I've got a question here from Philip O'Haydar. Is it back down again? Any advice for Viking reenactors?
Yeah,
Just zoom in.
I have a very good piece of advice for you. Enjoy it, and remember, it's not for real. You're not a Viking warrior by. You are having fun as a Viking warrior, but you're not a Jarl. You're not Othel's Bondi or anything like that. And this is the problem you get with societies. People believe their own story. I mean, if I was to be the character I am, I would be in prison because I'm basically a murdering mercenary and deal in things that people shouldn't deal in. But enjoy it. Don't let it rule your life. Remember, you've got a life out there, and there are lots of beautiful women who need to be involved with a Viking. I've yet to find them, but there you go.
Well, you never know.
But it's a good way of getting out at weekends, reenacting. It's like clears your mind, and you appreciate the 21st century when you get back.
You do.
Make sure you. I mean, these guys. They're great. I mean, I had no problems really with the actual organisation. What I had a problem with was people believing that they were Jarls and warriors, and that bothered me because I don't want people telling me.
Well, there are lots of egos within this hobby.
Yeah.
And that can ruin the hobby if you're not careful.
I mean, you think I was in it 13 years. 9 of those years I was in politics.
Yes.
And that's a killer, and I hate it. I remember the days when we used to get on board a bus we'd hired, just go there, have a great time, a party at night, battle the next day, and off home again.
Well, it should be about putting on a good show for the audience, and then in the evening having a few beers with your friends around the fire.
And learning about your kit, and have a backstory if the public asks you. And I always say it's just like cowboys and Indians.
Yes.
And if you treat it as that and enjoy it as that, you do it for ages. But when people start having committees and things like that, I don't want to know.
No, there should be reenactment should be just about fun. That's what it is. It's about fun, and that's what it should be about. And if you are looking to get into Viking reenacting, then I would look to join a good group, and then I would speak to them about your kit you're going to buy, because you don't want to be going and buying kit if you don't know what you're buying, and you know you can. There's lots of good manufacturers, but there's also lots of bad manufacturers for kit out there.
And also make sure it's in the period that you're supposed to be in.
Yes. I've always, my policy when it comes to politics was leave it back home, because I'm there to reenact for the public and to put a good show on and to have a good time. It's a fantastic form of escapism, and in the modern society we live in, some days we need that escapism. You know, and you get to appreciate your ancestors by reenacting that period. So Philip O'Hader, yeah, well, I 100% agree and have seen that, and I have only been doing this for 2 years. Yes, but my main advice is don't let it ruin it for you. Just enjoy it.
Enjoy yourself. One of the things we used to do, which was great fun, and I loved it, was to have a Viking feast.
Yes.
But you've got to have people who are willing, to cook and make sure everybody has a turn serving. It doesn't matter whether you are a Jarl or Peter the Pigpen man. It doesn't matter.
It's a great hobby to keep fit as well, because if you're a warrior, you've got to be fit doing it. And I'm not as fit as I used to be.
No, I'm not. You know, I'm 63, but I'm still willing to fight and enjoy myself. But enjoy yourself more than anything, and try and involve your family. Yes. It looks really great when you've got a husband, wife and child all dressed up.
Oh, it's a fantastic way for children to live like we used to live and how we used to grow up.
And they even bring dogs with them sometimes, and that's good. And that's good. There are a number of societies. I'm not going to mention them because if you start mentioning one, you've got to mention the other.
Well, yes, there is that.
I enjoyed the society I was with, and I could mention 2 or 3 out there. But just go on the internet and have a look, and you'll find them. And check them out first.
Yeah, definitely, yes. So, Celtic God has left a comment saying, why do you suppose tall shields get so little love over the round shield? And I assume you're talking about kite shields here.
They were later on.
Well, that's generally because they was held by Normans.
The thing I found, and I don't know whether you found it, the people who you're portraying, you tend to act like the Normans are terribly arrogant. And no, my mail's getting dirty. Saxons are a bit, come on then, have a go. And the Vikings just don't care.
What I was very surprised about when it comes to fighting Normans is how easily it is to kill them. And you know, they're reenactors, they train like we do. So how we managed to lose Hastings, I just don't know.
It was a bad day.
It was a bad day. Oh no, he was referring to the Colt tall shields, so the rectangular shields.
Oh, like the Romans had.
A bit like this one.
Oh right. No idea then, because it's easier, I think, to form a shield wall with circular ones, and also circular shields are a lot bigger.
This is like a Celtic shield, so I've actually got the bar the long way round. I've got to change that. And I know the Hibernian Norse used this type of shield, didn't they?
Yeah, but I mean, the point is,
whether there's any evidence of that, I don't know.
A round shield is easier to form a shield wall with, really, and it gives you more protection. I mean, this is quite titchy.
Yeah, this is a small one.
I don't know about you, but if I was facing a load of angry people, I'd want at least 3 foot of shield.
Well, that's one thing we are going to demonstrate in some combat, because I do have I have this shield, so we're going to demonstrate fighting with this shield when I sorted it out. And I'm going to make a small round shield also to fight with one of them in the future. And we'll do something like a Norman shield, you know, a Norman versus a Viking as well. So I'll dress as a Norman, so you don't have to. So yeah, I might do that.
Again, Normans had shorter hair.
Yeah.
And the short back and sides we see today is due to the male fantail. Because you've got hair like this.
Because I'd love a bronze Celtic shield.
Yeah, but hair like this, you've got to have like a baby's hat or pilot hat.
Yeah.
And that's where they used to shave the back of the head from, because it didn't catch in it. But,
so, Celtic God, the comment he just left is the ones the Romans modelled their shields from, which were bigger than that one. Yeah, so I've got one of them as well, but that's in my attic.
They're very cumbersome.
Can't get that out.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know how they held them, because it just I just can't get on with other types of shield. A round one,
round one, very, very easily
to use. But the kite shield, no way. And the Roman one, forget it.
Of course, they were using kite shields in the Last Kingdom, which is like 200 years too early.
Well, I mean, somebody thought it up and it seemed to work. But yeah, okay.
Any more questions, anybody, or any more comments? Whilst we're still here.
Yeah.
Although soon we will be ending the stream, but we're still going to go. Actually, we've got people watching. I think that's only fair, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think this will be the longest live stream we've ever done.
Yeah. Well,
One day we're going to do a 10-hour one.
I think we've actually got more people on today than we have had ever.
Yes, this has been the most number of people watching. I mean,
Which is surprising.
We will one day. We'll do a live stream. There'll be 1,000 people watching one day.
Oh,
That'll happen.
The Tash rules, baby.
And you guys were just fantastic for helping to support the channel and watching our content. So we do thank you for watching our content and supporting
We're always
us.
glad you take time out of your day, because I mean, you know.
Yeah.
But, we really must get those comments sorted.
Yes, we've got the. I couldn't print them out. Printer again. I hate printers.
Yeah, you're going to see just how much he hates printers later on.
Yes, I am doing a printer meme, Danax versus printer.
See me, I'm a nice, peaceful pussycat kind of person.
I'm going to beat a printer up into many, many pieces and be very happy doing it.
Gonna laugh, I am, when you do it, trust me.
So, Philip Haydar, have you played the game
No.
Thrones of Britannia on PC? No, I've not heard of that one.
I'll be honest with you, to me a computer, this is the guy you speak
I'm a
to.
gamer, so I do have a gaming channel.
I'm a
Red
grumpy, I'm
Devil
a grumpy
Gaming
old man
MC.
who doesn't know anything about
I don't really use it often. I've not played that one. I'm an Xbox player, so I mostly play on the Xbox. So, no, I'll have to check that out. I have thought about doing a separate channel associated with this one where I dress as a Viking and do gaming. I don't know what you guys think about that. Would you want to watch that? I don't know. I quite like the idea of it.
You're on your own on that one.
But I might get you doing some gaming because I think it'll be fairly funny watching you play some games and struggle to do it.
Yeah, right. I'll probably crash the system.
We'll have to find some Dark Agey themed games.
Has to be damn good. Okay, what's next?
No, we're still waiting.
Someone's just clicked.
You need to play it. So Philip O'Hader says, I can send you a link to the trailer now if you would enjoy it. Yes, please do send us a link to a trailer, because that's another thing we're not really thought about doing, reviewing trailers for games with a Dark Age content theme. So yes, I like that. Thank you, Philip.
Nice one.
Yeah.
I have the slightest idea what you're talking about.
No, well, gaming can be very addictive.
I actually was talking to a bloke the other day and he hasn't got a computer at all.
No?
He won't have them, yeah.
Well, he's a bit of a Luddite.
He's about my age and
Well, you can understand that.
a bit artistic.
I mean, I couldn't really survive without a modern computer. So, Celtic God, I have a hard time with computers.
Good.
I'm posting videos myself. I need a knife made. I'm your guy. Need technical stuff done. Not so much so. Well, great to know you can make knives from the fellow Smith.
Yeah. Well, it's also nice to know there's a fellow Luddite like me. But you got one over on me, you can make knives. This is the guy who you want to talk to about things like that.
Yes, I mean, I'm not that computer literate, but, you know, I taught myself to edit videos and do all this.
Well,
so
you can also
if I can do it.
You can also bang a bit of metal.
Yeah, anybody can do it. Well, I'm an engineer, so.
Yeah, you say that.
But I've not engineered anything for a while.
Wow.
Apart from a few hats. Making some hats.
Well, this is...
I'm going to make you a hat soon.
Yeah, well, this hat goes way back. It was 1989, 1990 when I got this.
I'm going to make you one of these soon.
What
A burqa style.
Yeah, right.
Because I can make one of them in about an hour.
I tried to make one out of fur, but I know the theory. Well, another question.
Celtic God, I can fix that computer. Where is my hammer?
Yeah.
Yes, if I only had a hammer. I'd hammer in the morning.
I'd hammer in the evening.
I'd hammer all day. That's probably a copyright there, infringement.
Well, we just got under it because we didn't mention much more.
No.
All right.
Yes, well, there's always that old adverb, if it breaks down, hit it with a hammer. And it makes you wonder where that comes from. You know, could you see some Viking go to Olaf saying, you know,
Probably
my shield's broken, I'll hit it with a hammer.
It's probably from my ancestors because we're all My sister's even worse than me when it comes to computers and things. She has to smash them. And I know where she's coming
But
from.
you know, can you imagine putting a Viking in the modern world next to a computer? You won't know what to do, would you? You know.
Hang on.
So Celtic God says, do you sell the clothing you make? Well generally not. No.
I don't.
I've sold a few things on Etsy, but I just think it's too old-fashioned now, buying and selling things, and the modern future is making content.
Yeah.
So,
Philip.
oh, Philip O'Hader, YouTube is not letting me send the trailer, but I'm sure you can find it yourself. Well, the trailer link may be in the folder where it gets linked, so I'll have to have a look at the comments to see if it's there or not. But sometimes if you put a link in the comments and you're not a comments admin on a channel, then you can't put that link in. But the link will just go into my spam box. But so I'll have a look for it after this. If not, I'll search the game out.
You see, to me, spam, it comes in a tin, blue and yellow, and it's very tasty.
Yes. I keep meaning to send a can of spam to IKS Exploration, one of my favourite exploration channels, because he doesn't like it. Apparently, it's very nice, fried.
Yeah, we used to have spam fritters when I was a kid. Was it soya protein American meat? It was made famous during the Second World War. The Americans sent it over, one of their great things.
Oh.
So thanks, America.
You can probably still find some.
Oh, spam's still on sale.
Yeah, no, from World War II, I mean.
Oh, it's probably still as good.
I mean, I've got 8 people watching, 7 people watching. Philip O'Hader. Yes, it is called Total War Saga. Thrones of Britannia. Yes, I've heard of Total War Saga, so I will check that out. I don't do much gaming on PC. I'm too spoiled by a control unit now.
Don't speak.
So if we haven't got no more questions coming, we'll probably start to wrap this up.
Okay, that sounds...
Because I know Egil's probably getting fed up sitting down for 2 hours. It's a long time, all done. And we got to carry on, and I got some videos to edit.
Yeah.
And we should be back on track publishing our content from next week.
Yeah. Till we meet again.
So for now, it's farewell. Thank you for watching this. And don't forget to go and subscribe if you're new. Good show, guys. Thank you for your time. That's from Celtic God. It is our total pleasure. And thank you for your great company.
And sayonara.
Yes. Thank you, guys, says Philip O'Hader. And all the best.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. All the best to
Hopefully
you
we'll be able to make this a regular feature.
We do want to make it a regular feature, live streaming, because we both really enjoy it.
And also...
Our fans do.
Yeah. Want to bring it home to you and enjoy yourselves.
And at some point after this, I'll make a thumbnail for this.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Okay.
Excellent.
Bye.
Thank you. Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Says Kito. Thank you very much. Oh, yes. May the God look after you.
Yeah. And may your pudding have lots of gravy.